Hello, welcome to another stream. How about that? How about that? Welcome. So today is Sunday, and that means today, according to the schedule, we're doing game development because we're doing game development for the whole weekend. Isn't that epic? Isn't that epic? So yeah, welcome to game development. Hello everyone, hello Mr. Botka, Lost Algorithm, I Good Duke, Hudson Plots, Tsoding, The Dumb Engineer, Leonard Vjizved, Ketchison, Hudson Bot, of course, hello. Kolumbetka, I think I'll say hello to you. John, hello. Welcome. I hope I didn't miss anyone. Hello Fish. Welcome. So today is a game development. Isn't that exciting? It's so fucking exciting. Oh my god, look at how excited I am. So yeah, in the previous stream we were doing something interesting actually. We were refactoring yet again asset management system. Yeah, I don't know why I call it like that, but yeah. Hello CRII, welcome to the stream. Hello Pussy Destroyer, welcome. Tom Squad. No, I'm not a Tom Squad, I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't have a British accent to be a Tom Squad. So, on the previous stream we were refactoring the asset management system and we actually got quite good at it. Let's actually fetch all of the latest stuff and let's see how it goes. And to be fair, like this is my only red t-shirt. I'm pretty sure Tom Squad like has like hundreds of them. I don't know. Maybe he also has. Imagine actually Tom Scott, possessing only one red T-shirt, and that's the only. It's the T-shirt that he uses for filming, and like everywhere else, he is actually wearing like a completely different T-shirt. Yeah, that would be funny. So, but you said you're from KGB. Oh, that explains the red T-shirt. I mean, you know, KGB, communism, red. Alright, so git merge origin. Am I in the right branch, by the way? I think I am. Merge origin master. And let's actually rebuild everything. And let's drink some vodka. How about that, my comrades? Cheers! Ooh. Alright. So, the game didn't change, visually. It looks as... It looks the same as it was before refactoring, but that's the point of refactoring, right? So the behavior of the program should not change after the refactoring by the definition of refactoring. So yeah, that's why a lot of managers don't like refactoring, by the way, because it feels like you're wasting money for nothing. And technical debt is not necessarily measurable. Okay, so what do we have here? Did I fetch everything already? I think I did. So the idea is, in fact, just to have this single configuration, right? So here's a single configuration where we describe all of the assets that we have in the game, and also different kinds of assets. So we have texture as a type of asset, we have sounds as a type of asset, and Animats, which is basically abbreviation for animation. So textures, sounds, and animations. Right, and then we associate different IDs with these assets, and also the paths from which the game should load them. So what the game essentially does, it loads this file and then it sequentially loads all of these assets, right? And the fact that it even logs that it loads all of them, right? And so then from within the game you can access all of these assets by their corresponding IDs. So that's pretty much the idea of all of this stuff. So, and it seems to be working quite well. So yeah, today we're gonna continue working on the system, hopefully, and we'll see how it goes. I already actually prepared a couple of issues for all of that, and so we even have a plan for today. How about that? Hello Freefall, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I started to use these Kanban boards yet again. I started to use them already like a week ago in different projects, but I'm slowly creating them for all of the projects. Hello, Karl Marx. Welcome to the stream. I saw you deleted tweet, Tsoding. Yes, I did, because it was a top secret tweet and I tweeted it accidentally. Hello, Loco Padre, welcome to the stream. Unfortunately, it turned out it was a classified information, and that's why I had to delete it, so yeah. Alright. So, yeah, let's drink a little bit more, and let's start working on some stuff. Alright. So, first thing I want to do, I want to warm up a little bit, right? Warm up a little bit. And we're going to start working on the comments support in the asset config, right? We do have a support for variable config. We do have a support for comments in the variable config, that's what I wanted to say. And to be fair, this assets config is actually kind of similar to the variable config, don't you think? I just realized that instead of actually describing an asset like that, I could have just, you know, put the ID here and make this thing a type of a texture, and it would have exactly the same syntax as the config, as the variable config. That's what I wanted to say. So maybe it's, we're gonna refactor all of that stuff in the future, and this is gonna be the new format. So, but not right now. So it's actually pretty trivial, trivial refactoring. So yeah, maybe we're gonna do that a little bit later. Tell us about tea. Well, this is the temperature of my tea. That's right. So we have a couple of things here. So temperature of my tea, it's 95 Celsius, of course. I don't have IPv6. The size of my porn folder is 20 gigabytes. Unfortunately, it is too small. And that's pretty much it. I have 2.05 hot loads, and this is the date to date. So yeah, nothing much to say. So hello XKOK, welcome to the stream. Hello Aviatune Docs, welcome. Alrighty, so let me see. So let's add the support for the comments, because right now you can try to load the game, of course, and it's gonna load up quite easily, but if you put some sort of a comments here, let's say something like this is a comment, right? And if you try to run the game, it will say something like unknown asset type. This is a comment. Yeah, it's kind of a funny, you know, asset type, don't you think? It's a pretty funny asset type. So essentially what we want to have here is a support for the comment. A9, welcome to the stream. Hello, really glad to see you. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Zutralold, welcome, welcome to the streamers. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, now, I have been working with Oracle DBA that called T with temperature less than 99 Celsius. Disgusting. Okay, sure. Cool. Now, let me see what I want you to do. Yeah, so we need to add support for the comments, right? So we need to add support for the comments, and that's essentially what we are going to do. So I'm going to go to the assets, right? To the assets, and yeah, I don't remember how I did support for the comments. I think it was pretty straightforward. So essentially I chopped the line by delimiter this, right? And then it would also make sense to chop that line even further, right? Let me think if it's gonna work out, because chop by delimiter actually modifies the previous thing, so I'm actually quite worried that it may not work out. So it creates a temporary object, and it will chop it off, and it will actually throw it away. I think it will work out. This is actually very interesting. I think I should be able to just chain this thing several times, but unfortunately it does. Oh, this is actually very interesting. Regex. I don't have a support for regex for this game, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. And for parsing such a simple format, I don't think it's needed that much, right? So you can just parse it without regular expressions, because regular expression engines like PCRE2 are quite low, to be fair, for what we're doing here, right? Write your own regex parser. Well, I actually was thinking about that. Writing something like a regex parser sounds like a pretty cool topic for Friday stream, to be fair. But something simple, right? Something simple, like a bare minimum. Implement like a compilation to some state machine, and then the interpreter for the state machine, and then... but at least this is how I imagine regular expressions are implemented. So, yeah. But Friday would be enough. I feel like implementing a simple regex parser and regex, you know, regex engine is feasible to do on Friday. So yeah. Aren't they compiled into bytecode then interpreted? Well, I don't know. So we're about to find out. I think it should be possible to compile it to a state machine. Yeah. But for this specific game, I don't think it makes sense to do that, so it's just easier to parse everything manually. Had to use recursive regex at one point. Good times. Oh yeah, recursive regex. You mean in the Perl, right? So I know that in the Perl, it is possible to do something stupid as, like, here's your regex, like a variable, and then you have a regular expression. I don't know how to define them, but essentially, right? You can define regex in terms of itself, right? Something like that. I don't remember the Perl syntax, but yeah, so it basically can be defined in terms of itself. And I heard different interesting stories that recursive regular expressions are Turing complete, which is kind of interesting. And also it makes them not regular. Does the imitable strings method allocate memory on the stack? No, it's actually a string view itself is super simple. They're just pointing, yeah, so it's literally two things: a pointer to the memory and a number. So how many, the size of the view. So yeah, it's super simple actually. You can find the implementation of that thing in here. It's called aids, so it's from there. So, you know what, I kind of want to steal the implementation of the comments from the place where we parse the config file, because I think it's going to be easier for me. I don't really want to think about it too much. So essentially what we're doing... oh yeah, so this is actually pretty straightforward. So if the line is empty, or it starts with this thing, we skip the whole thing. And then, so yeah, to support... it's kind of funny, like to support this kind of comments and this kind of comments, I actually need to separately code that, right? So I need a special case for this situation and a special case for this situation. I completely forgot about that. So, all right, so let's go ahead and do that super quick. So here's the assets, here's we skipping empty line, skip empty lines, and another one is gonna be lines data equal hash continue skip single line comments. All right. Those who understand regex have the power. The power of what? You mean the electricity? I do have electricity and I do understand regex. All right. Regex are relatively simple, I do agree with that. If you're not using like super complicated stuff. Wouldn't that just skip lines that only have single? No, because we're looking at the first character here. Alright, so skip single lines and alright. So so I chop by this thing and this gives me so then I have equals and I throw that part away. Oh boy. Throw that part away, and maybe here I don't really want to trim anything, and what I want to do here is basically chop by delim like this. You know what, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna just let it be like that, and we're gonna test this kind of thing separately. Hello Panapudi, welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Alright, let's recompile everything, something debug. So, yeah, I don't need to have that anymore. Alright. So, could not load space as PNG. So, I obviously forgot to trim something. I wonder where. It should be, yeah, I mean, I literally deleted the trim and now, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is going on with this today? Alright, so I need to concentrate. Alright, so there we go. Everything seems to be working quite well. And we do have support for single line comments. And the only thing we need to add here is the comments on the same line. This is another comment. There we go. Oh, it's actually quite warm today, yes. I've been outside right before the stream, because I needed to buy some chocolate. Yeah, I cannot stream without the chocolate. I had to actually buy chocolate right before the stream. Alright, so, and here's the problem, right? So it tries to load this entire thing as the path, and this is something that we have to properly fix. Yes, dark chocolate, the 97% one. Yeah, I need that dopamine kick to stream. I think I'm getting addicted to chocolate. It's actually quite interesting. Alright, so here's the line. I chop by delimiter like this, basically skipping the rest of the stuff. And this stuff can be, I suppose, chop by delim. There we go. Outside we're chop. Like, I have a store right across the road, so it's not that, you know, it's not that I'm spreading too much of a corona and stuff. So yeah, there we go. We have support for both of these style of the comments, and that's actually pretty cool. That is actually pretty cool. Let's do a committee, and maybe then even a pushy. I have a tea store right across the road. Oh, so... And that's the only thing you can buy? So, yeah. I always thought programmers do streams from a swimming pool and their villa. Disappointing. Sorry. I'm not a programmer though, so that's probably why. Alright, so let's do a committee. Before I do a committee, let's actually create a separate branch. Let's create a separate branch. It's gonna be 251. 251. And add support for the comments in assets conf. There we go. So now we have support for all of that. I'm gonna push that right into the repo. Yep, I only live on TIC. Okay, let's create a pull request, boys and girls. Let's create a pull request. Wait a second, I forgot to... Oh, no. I forgot to actually mention the issue. I forgot to actually do this kind of thing, so I have to, you know, amend my comment and unfortunately force push into the repo. Yes, force push is required. So it's just a regular push, but with a little bit of force, you know, to get it through. Okay, and we're gonna close that thing. We're gonna quickly close that thing. So the next issue is gonna be really interesting, and it's something that I've wanted to do for quite some time, but because we didn't have a centralized asset system, I couldn't do that. So I want to be able to hot reload the assets. And that will enable such a cool workflows, right? So it's essentially, right, I want to be able to open image in, for example, AssetWrite, modify it, draw it while the game is running, and while the game is running, reload that asset that I just modified just to see instantly how it looks like in the game. You see what I'm talking about? It's like a variable config reloading, but for the textures, sounds, and animations and stuff like that, just, you know, reload in a runtime. I really wanted to have that. I think it would have improved my workflow tremendously. But I couldn't do that again because I didn't have a centralized place where the assets are queried and stuff like that. And now we do have it, and I think it would be super easy to implement something like that. And this is what I want to start working today. All right. So yeah, we're waiting for the continuous integration and stuff. Do you have a separate compiled? Yes, I do have a separate compiled. There we go. Here it is. I compiled it actually quite some time ago. I'm pretty sure it's already old. But compiling AssetWrite is such a pain in the ass, so I don't really do that often. Maybe it is intentional, so people buy it instead of compiling it from scratch. So yeah. What's funny is that it's a pain in the ass to compile it on Linux, but I cannot imagine how much of a pain in the ass it is to compile it on Windows. And I'm pretty sure all of the Windows users of this program just buy it, because, I mean, fuck compiling that. You still can compile it. Yeah, so there's some problem, because it cannot find something. I don't remember how I solved that problem. So essentially, I ended up like downloading like pre-built binaries of some library, putting them in some weird place and targeting CMake there just to compile some sort of dependency that is needed for AssetWrite. It's such a pain in the ass, and I wonder if it's really intentional to sort of like force people to buy this program. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's their program, so they can do whatever the fuck they want with it. Oh, Skia, yes. Thank you, Freefall. Thank you so much. Yeah, yeah. It's something about Skia. I vaguely remember. Like, I built it a long time ago, but I don't remember what exactly I had to do to properly build it. And since then, I didn't touch it. Like, you know, if it's working, don't touch it. So, yeah. You also compile some other tool using the Skia fork. Yeah. So it's kind of weird. And this is because they were trying to fix some problem or something. Like, it's kind of weird. Okay, we're done. Cheers, by the way. Congratulations on a successfully built CI. Merge pull request. Confirm merge. My problem was that even though I compiled everything as they said in the installation instruction, it still failed with the linker error. Oh, so you give up. I see. I wish I could help to build it, but unfortunately I just don't remember how I did that. It's one of these things that you sort of like fix once and never touch it and then forget how you did that. So, and I think I didn't even keep any notes on how to fix that, which is actually kind of a mistake, because I'm pretty sure I will need those notes later when I decide to rebuild all of that. So yeah. But until then, I have a working Isoprite, which is cool. Anyways, so let's go back to the board. I like recompiling OBS with NV encoded support. Interesting. I only compiled with VA API. Alright, so there is no way to reload assets at runtime. Let's see how we can do that. So, I'm gonna go to the master, I'm gonna fetch all of the latest stuff. Right. And merge origin master. And remove all of that. Let's create a separate branch. Excuse me. And let's create a separate branch for 252. And let's find the asset manager. I don't really like to call it asset manager, but it's the entity that manages the assets. Sort of. Okay, so this one is interesting. So here we're loading config. And I wonder, can we have something like reload config? So is there any difference between loading config and reloading config? I think there is. There are. Because when you're reloading config, you also have to release all of the allocated resources before loading new resources. So that could be a problem. Yeah. So let me think how we can do all of that. So I need to implement release, maybe clear, right? I think it's usually called clean. So we need a method that will actually clean the whole asset entity, right? So it will deallocate all of the textures here, then it will set textures count to 0, then deallocate all of the sounds here, and then deallocate all of the frames. And suppose we can just call this function once inside of the load config, and load config essentially is going to act like a reloading function. And if you don't have any assets loaded, clean is not going to do anything. So yeah, essentially you can just use load as the reload. Maybe we can even call it reload, right? It's a super similar situation to the config variables, and I wonder if we can reuse a lot of config variables code and logic to do this kind of stuff. All right, so assets.cpp, yes, there we go, and there we go. Assets. Clean. So what essentially we're gonna do is iterate over the texture. Right. It's gonna be something like this. Texture count plus I. Is it texture count or textures count? I think it's textures count. So and essentially what I need to do here, I need to clean all of these things here. And I think it should be pretty straightforward. I think we just have SDL destroy texture. Are you guys talking about some weird kinky shit? Oh yeah, we're talking about using H for C++. That is weird and kinky and I like it. Yeah. All right. So yeah, so there's a SDL destroy texture, and there should be also SDL destroy destroy surface. It's actually free surface. Is it really? Is it really? So there is a destroy texture, but there is free surface. What's up with that, actually? What's up with that? It's kind of weird, don't you think? That, yeah, the thing that, I think we already talked that the thing that just, like, you know, deallocates texture is called destroy, but the thing that deallocates surface is called free. Maybe it has something to do with that, with the fact that surface is on CPU usually, right, and texture is usually on GPU. It depends on the, it depends on the driver that SDL is using, but usually it is like that. SDL is strictly 2D, right? Well, it is kind of 2D, but you can use SDL as a cross-platform initializer for the OpenGL, and in that case you can use SDL and do 3D 3D graphics. You can do things like that. So, but since I'm not using SDL as a cross-platform OpenGL initializer, it is strictly 2D for me. Right. So that's pretty much the situation. Alright, so I'm iterating the textures, and what essentially I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just, you know, deallocate all of this stuff. So, I have an idea. I have a pretty epic idea, chat. You're gonna love it, I think. I'm gonna use Emacs magic. Look. I'm gonna replace this thing with that. And then, for the surfaces, I'm gonna do free surface. For the textures, I'm gonna do destroy texture. And there you go. Isn't that epic? I think it's pretty epic, actually. Emacs magic. Can your Vim do that? Alright, so when we have textures, and actually we have to also prefix all of that with special stuff. Stop Tsoding my Vim square. I'm sorry, I didn't want to, you know, upset you, Vim. So everything's gonna be okay. I mean, Vim is also extendable editor, right? Vim is also extendable editor, so with a little bit of, you know, that weird Vim script, you can make it work, sure. You can make anything work in Vim with a little bit of lube and Vim script. So yeah, don't worry about that. Joe is also extensible. Is it extensible? I mean, it's open source, you can literally modify the code source, I suppose. Alright. Anything extensible if it's open source, am I right? Alright, and after that, after we deallocated all of the textures, right, we're going to just set the textures count to 0, indicating that the resources has been freed. And let's see if it's gonna compile or not. Probably not, because fuck me. Alright. So this is only textures. Now we need to deallocate the sounds, right? So assets, HPP. Alright, how do we load sounds, by the way? I think it's load sample. Yeah, it's a load sound. And then we do load wave as sample S16. And if I look inside of this entire stuff, how do we allocate any memory for it? Do I even allocate any memory? I didn't think I allocate any memory. Oh, that's very interesting. Okay, so SDL load wave allocates all of the necessary memory here. Alright. Yeah, you have to provide the pointer to the buffer, so it will allocate it for you. So, and then you'll have to free it accordingly. I see, that makes sense. Okay, sound HPP. Yeah. Assets CPP. Okay. After that, I'm gonna iterate through all of this stuff. Sounds count, plus sign. SDL free. Wait. Sounds I unwrap, and we'll have to do the thing for the buffer. So it's gonna be audio buff, and after that I'll have to send the sound count to 0. All right, let's try to compile all of that and see if it works or not. That's really strange. Okay, wait a second. Free buff. All right. So, what are you complaining about? Oh shit. Okay. So it's supposed to be uint8, but my pointer is actually u816. And why is it u816? Why is it u816? Let me find the sounds and stuff. Yeah, okay, so we actually explicitly cast it. Okay, that's very interesting. Well, I suppose I can do it like that. I can explicitly just sort of like type pawn it into that to make it free and stuff like that. Okay, so, sounds good. All right. So we cleaned all of the sound resources. Now we need to clean all of the Animat resources. Right, all of the Animat resources. Animats count plus I. So let's take a look at the frame animat. I think it's something with sprites. Frame animat. So the only thing that we're allocating here when we're loading the frame animat is probably the sequence of sprites, right, and nothing else. And I suppose, where do we allocate them? I don't quite know where we allocate them, to be fair. So load animats. So this is a load animat. This is a load animat. Okay. I'm not quite sure, to be fair. So where's the count? Okay, so once I have count. Okay, so we're using new here, so I'll have to use delete accordingly. All right. Clean. So I'll have to delete animats. Right. Unwrap. Frames. Animats count equals 0. Alright, so and let's try to run that and see if it works. Okay, I didn't break anything, but I never actually called the code that I implemented. It's kind of difficult to break anything if you never actually run the code that you just implemented, right? So yeah, so let's actually try to run what we implemented, and maybe that will actually break it, right? Before loading configuration, we just do a clean, right? We just do a simple clean here, and let's see how it's gonna go. All right. So, and everything seems to be okay. Everything seems to be okay, dokie, karaoke. So the idea is gonna be super simple. We're gonna assign load config, asset load config to some sort of a key, right? So let's actually go to the game. Let's go to the game. So game CPP, and there should be something like handle events there. Yeah, there we go. We handle in events, and when we're pressing F5, we're reloading the config. So what we're gonna press to reload the assets? That's a good question. So let me do the following thing. F6. Racket people are so pipego. Why? So what's wrong with them? Actually, I know nothing about Racket community, so yeah. The only thing I know that they're into like CS education a lot, and this entire language is designed for CS education. So what's so pipego about it? So indexing. Wait a second. It's interesting. Indexing the elements of the array created in untyped Racket is currently 50 times slower than doing that in the typed due to the overhead of checking the contracts we're working on it. That's funny, actually. Well, if you think about it, it is actually true for any interpreted language, right? In any interpreted language, when you iterate in an array, you need to check the types. But not necessarily. If you have like a JIT compiled language, it just compiles that chunk of code once and it never have to check anything anymore, I suppose. I don't know. It's kind of funny. But yeah. I suppose typed Racket basically checks the types once and strips off the contracts. And that's why it's faster. Well, I mean, that's exactly what they say there, at least. Interesting. Alright, so what we're gonna do here is gonna be load, and how do I call load, by the way? So it's gonna be assets load. And we need a renderer. We need a renderer here, so that's what we'll have to do here. Alright, so maybe we also need to sort of flash some sort of a message. That we reloaded this entire thing. Alright. Why, wow, a separate compiles so slow. It is actually pretty slow because it compiles all of the dependencies. Hello VV1ZM8, welcome to the stream. Well, Racket for sure. The thing about Racket is that it has like a pretty big community around it that contribute a lot of documentation, tutorials, third-party dependencies. It even has a pretty cool IDE. So for learning Lisp, Racket is actually super cool. And it's definitely better than any other implementation of Scheme. And as far as I know, Racket initially was like a specification compliant implementation of Scheme, but it actually grew out of the scope of the Scheme, but it still supports majority of the Scheme specs. So yeah. So by learning Racket, you're pretty much learning Scheme as well, but Racket itself is actually much more than Scheme. Hello Jiang, welcome to the stream. Welcome. So yeah. All right. So we need to. I think I want to actually flash some sort of a message that we reloaded this entire thing, but I don't remember how to do that. I'm sorry. So I'll have to go to the command reload, and yeah, this is how we do that. Okay. So there we go. So we reload this thing, and then. It's a pop-up, notify font success color, reloaded assets. Right. It actually depends. So right now, if reloading the assets fails, the entire application will just crash. Right. But maybe we're gonna try to handle that a little bit differently later. So I don't think it's that important right now. What's up, ToggleBeat? Welcome to the stream. Alright. Okay, so load conf, that's what we're doing. Renderer, and we don't have a renderer inside of the game, really? Oh shit, this is actually super bad. I need a renderer there to be able to reload the configs. Maybe because of that, I'll have to move this code outside of the game. It feels like this is something that we'll have to do. It feels like this is something that we'll have to do. Alright, so we have a key down, simulation delta. Alright, let's actually put it here somewhere. I think it's not a bad place for that thing to have. And that means assets is that, and then we'll have to do a game. Not sure if the assets have to be part of the game though. I kind of want them to be available for everyone at any point, but yeah, we'll see. So here's the config, and here's the assets. And after reloading the assets, was it too loud? I hope it was not too loud. But what the fuck? Okay, so that was scary. So we messed up reloading the assets, that's for sure. But we're getting there, I suppose. Alrighty. So it clipped. Not too loud. Okay, so actually bring the sound down a little bit. I suppose something corrupted the assets. Something definitely corrupted them. Asset CPP. So what we're essentially doing here, we're just destroying all of that. And why would it be like that? It's so weird. Why would it even be like that? Can you pause the renderer and sound stuff until you reload the asset? It's a good question. I have no idea. Maybe we should try to learn how to reload only the... Oh shit, that's actually a good point. Yes, I need to wait until all of the sounds finished loading and stuff like that. That's what needs to be happen. So, can we do something interesting? Can we not clean the sound at all? But I also want to be able to load the sound. You know what? Yeah, I want to reload only like very specific things. But I want to also load sounds once, right? So that's quite kind of interesting. So maybe I'm gonna make a simple hack, very simple hack. What is that? Is that something important? Oh shit! You managed to build it. Congratulations! Did you build it on FreeBSD? That's super cool. Congrats! Congrats! That's actually super cool. Yeah. Was it too difficult? On FreeBSD, nice. Is it in FreeBSD ports or something? Or did you... Okay, so... Alright. It's on Windows, I see. It's in the ports, okay, I see. As far as I know, the ports don't really violate the ASIP right license because you're still building it yourself, right? So distributing the scripts that help you build ASIP right, as far as I know, does not violate the license. So it's perfectly fine in such systems as FreeBSD, Gentoo, NixOS, and stuff like that, and also Aura, I suppose. Yeah, because you still build it yourself, so it doesn't really matter. So the point of the slide sense is to raise the awareness, right, that to not, you know, send issues that were introduced by the distro, right? So because that was the main point, because such distros as Debian and Ubuntu overpatched this program and introduced the bugs that were reported back to the ASUPRite, but ASUPRite developers had nothing to do with that. So yeah. But very old version. A9, by the way, are you using Arch? Because I thought you were using Gento or Gento. I don't remember how it's pronounced, but I mean, yeah. I thought you were a Gento person. Did you switch to Arch? I think there is something about memory that most people don't understand. Erlang, Go, and Rust. Oh my god, that's a very long message. Have simple memory models, which makes them unusable in multi-core context. And I'm not sure. Okay, probably. A lot of people don't understand things. Sure. Damn it. So, yeah. I need to have a Boolean variable. Does the still render run in a different thread? I don't think so. I think it has something to do with the sound. Sound probably runs in a different thread. Loaded first time. This is what we're gonna call it. Right, loaded first time. Initially is gonna be 0. Right, initially is gonna be 0. So essentially, if loaded first time, we're not gonna load the sound, right? We're not gonna load the sound. And if loaded the first time, we're not going to do that. And after we loaded everything, I'm going to do true here. So initially it's going to be false, hopefully, and then we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Could not find sound pew sound. That's really weird. So initially, oh, okay, if it's not, all right, if it's not, I'm sorry, it has to be if it's not. So there we go, if it's not. All right. So, and hopefully if I try to reload now, it's not going to be too loud. All right. So I can kind of see that the problem is probably with... Oh, okay, so I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. Yeah. So the problem is also with the textures, right? The problem is also with the textures. Thank you, by XXX. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Yeah. So I wonder what exactly wrong with the textures, though. Right, what exactly wrong with them? Because I just cleaned them up. And that should be enough, I suppose. Because we're referring to the textures using their index, so maybe that's what has something to do with that, right? Maybe that's what it's all about. It's kind of strange, to be fair. It's kind of strange, to be fair. So what's funny is that it fucked up the textures of the players and stuff, and I wonder why. I wonder why it fucked them up. Yeah. So let's actually take a look at the entities then. Right. Entity. Oh, I have an interesting idea. So if I reload the textures and then I reload the thing, it works now. Okay, that is very interesting. So essentially it probably stores the pointer to the previous texture that is long time gone, and that's what we'll have to fix now. Interesting. I wonder what would be the easiest way to approach that, but don't we store it by an index? Or does it modify the index? This is actually kind of interesting. Just a second. STD map, yeah. Okay. And also we have like a... Okay, so I need to go to the entities. Entities. Let's go to... need to go to the entities. Entity state, and it has to do something with the frame animats, I think. Right. So frame animat struct. This would be why are you not loading dll.so hot reloading? Because I didn't implement it. Probably that's why. That's probably why. So to defer, I actually stole that code from the Reddit, so it's the name that was given there. So sorry. Actually, believe it or not, it has nothing to do with textures. I think it has something to do with the animations. Yes. I think it has something to do with the animations. I think I figured it out. Alright, so we can actually do something similar. Essentially, we do not reload the animations. So it's going to be loaded first time. If it's not loaded first time, we're going to just do it like that. Load it first time. So it definitely has something to do with the animations. And now if I reload it, yeah, there we go. It doesn't break anything. I reload the assets and it doesn't break anything. And let me show you what I mean when I was talking about hot reloading the assets and stuff like that. So essentially I want to have the following workflow where I can just open some of these things like ice, right? And can I modify something? Like for example, change the color, right? Maybe I can add additional thing here. I'm gonna save that thing and I'm gonna go to the game and I'm gonna reload, and here it is. It appeared here as I drew it. Then I can do Control Z, save it again, and it's actually back to normal thing. So essentially I can draw while the game is running and then make the game reload the assets and instantly see how it's gonna look like. Right, I think it's actually super cool. And this is exactly what I was okay, so something actually went horribly wrong. But yeah. So let me try the following thing. I'm gonna add like a bunch of ice blocks and we can start like modifying them. Maybe we're gonna change a little bit of color. We can add some stuff here probably. It has to be like here, right? It has to be like here. Gonna save it, and I really like how it's instantly just applies it for everything. Just yeah, it's pretty cool. Right, but that only works for that only works for the textures. It doesn't work for the sounds and animations, because I'm not being super careful about how I manage memory for the animations and for the sounds. Can you auto-reload when any of the files in assets folder has changed? Yes, I can, but that needs to be implemented, right? So let's not jump ahead of ourselves, right? Let's implement everything properly without any bugs, and then we can have nice features, all right? So the answer to your question, it's not finished yet. The reason why we don't do that, it's not finished. All right. Once it's finished, it's gonna be pretty cool, because we do have auto reloading for variables, different kind of variables. Because you can have a file like this. Let me actually find vars config. And you can modify something here, and it will automatically detect that. For example, one of the things I can do essentially is change the background, and as you can see, the background automatically changed after me modifying the file. But this is a completely different mechanism. It has nothing to do with the assets. It's just you know, variables like values that are used at the runtime in the program. For the assets, we'll have to implement that separately, right? For the assets, we'll have to implement that separately. All right. How do you reload the background color? I don't know how to answer your question. I'm sorry, I don't understand. I just reloaded. So what? Could you please be more specific? What exactly do you think is difficult about reloading the background? Right, because like, what exactly do you want to know? Like, I just reloaded. Just like, it's not a good, like, I don't know how to answer your question. Like, I want to answer, don't get me wrong, I really want to answer your question, but this question is just not good. Like, what exactly do you want? I just wrote the code that reloads the background when you modify the file. What exactly do you want to know? I'm really sorry. Like, every time somebody asks a question like that, I feel like I'm forced to be an asshole that just says these horrible things. Sorry, like, I'm sorry, I just don't know how to answer it. Hello Fengchi, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? All right, so we managed to get, you know, reloading done. We managed to get the reloading done, and 252. Introduce reloading by F6 key. Let's push that right into the repo. So let's actually try to slowly start working on different things as well. So for example, I think we also don't have a proper support for sounds. So let's enable the sounds and see if the sounds will get corrupted, right? So because I think they got corrupted. So, and now if I try to reload that, yeah, they got corrupted. Nice. And this is probably because we need the sound indices instead of sound sound samples. That's right. So yeah, not really sure how good of an idea that would be, but we can try for now at least, right? We can try for now. So essentially, when you're querying the texture, right? When you're querying the texture, you get a texture index. But then, if you query the sound, you get the sample. So what if we actually have sample index instead of this thing? So yeah, let's introduce that. So where is the texture index that's defined? Let's go to sound. To be fair, I want to do texture index thingy here, struct. Right, let's actually move it here somewhere. And it's going to be in the assets because the texture index is related to the assets. So, and I think it makes sense to actually keep it here. Okay, so it doesn't really compile properly. Let's see what we have here. So that means I'll have to include the something assets HPP here. And let's go. Okay, so what else here? Did I make some changes that actually screwed everything up? Frame animat is not declared here. Okay, so where's the frame animat is defined? Struct frame animat. So it's defined in a sprite. Something sprite HPP. Okay. Frame animat was not declared in the scope. So weird. So weird. So why I cannot have that? Here's the frame animat, and I'm just loading that thing there. Is it because of something, some sort of like a circular dependencies? It could be because of that. I'm confused actually. Was not declared in the scope. Template argument 1 is invalid. Was not declared in the scope. Template 1 argument is invalid. This is not helpful. This is the most unhelpful. What? Oh my god. C++ is so fucking toxic. Oh my god. Oh, because, yeah, it's literally because I have a circular dependency. Okay. Yeah, alright. It's literally because of circular dependencies. It can't even give me the proper error message because of that. Okay. It can't even give me the proper error message. Alright. and something is completely broken because yeah, okay then. What the hell is going on? So here's the sprite, and the sprite, maybe I also have to remove this thing then. So weird, man. So fucking weird, man. Okay. Yeah. Seems to be working now. So, but what I need to do now is to go to the sound. Where's the sound stuff? Struct sample s16 index. Right, and it's gonna be something like this. So it's gonna be size t unwrap. Right, size t unwrap. Texture index, and I think I have to inherit texture index for some additional stuff. So I think it has something like index, yeah, public index. Yeah, I'm using inheritance, by the way, in C++. Just so you know, just for your information. So sound, and I can do things like this now, essentially. It is convenient, actually, right? Index entity index is not available. God damn it. Fuck. When the inheritance skin kicks in. You're definitely a bad person. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your comments. Imagine being called like a bad person based on the technical decisions you make for your pet projects that you do for recreational purposes. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Super cool. This is exactly why I share my, you know, the development of my pet projects on the internet, so I can hear this kind of comments. It's really, you know, refreshing. Makes me feel alive. So, I think I need to create a separate thing where I'm gonna keep all of the indices and stuff, because I keep reusing them in different places and stuff like that. So maybe I'm gonna do the following thing, where we have different types and stuff. And where do I have a sample struct? Sample index. So this is not going to be entity index, it's going to be sample 16 index. Alright, let's go through the compilation errors as usual. That's all the compilation errors, I gotta say. So I suppose the thing we're gonna do is just include something index HPP. Okay, that actually worked better than expected. Okay. So yeah, essentially this is going to be a centralized place where we keep all of these things here. Sure how much of a good idea that is, but yeah, let's just keep it there. So here's the index, and here we're also going to use index. So it may take quite some time, I suppose, to properly... Yeah, there you go. We'll have to do another round of refactoring because now we have to replace all of that shit in all of those places. Nice. Yeah. It's kind of interesting. Huh. Alright, let's actually go ahead and try to replace all of that and see how it goes. So the entity, like not the entity, but the asset system needed some refactoring long time ago. SV is a user-defined literals. That's what they are. Entity. So here's the sample, and here instead of like actual samples, we're gonna store indices, right? So, and hopefully that will make this kind of thing better. Hopefully, I'm not sure if it will, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so here is another, and when you are playing a sample, right? Jump samples. We have a mixer that plays samples. Okay, so here's the thing. We take jump samples, and jump samples actually define an index inside of the assets. So assets, sounds. So let me actually find them. Assets, sounds. Sounds. And like that, and then we're gonna unwrap all of that stuff. We're gonna simply unwrap all of that and so here's another one. So here's the item, so you can assign a sound to an item. I suppose this is the sound that is played when you pick it up, which is... Why do we assign separate sounds for separate items? It doesn't make any sense. I think it's overkill. Like, we can just play the same sound every time you pick up item. Like, there's no reason to assign it to each individual like kind of item. There is no reason to play different sounds when you pick up different items. It's just so silly. All right, it doesn't make any sense. Is the stream lagging? Oh yeah, we actually dropped like a couple of frames. I'm really sorry about that. So maybe it's a Russian internet actually. So yeah, no, it's my internet. I'm sorry. What's up, Kobe? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing? So, and again, I forgot the reason why I actually went there. Forgot the reason why I actually went there. So I went there to replace this thing with an index. Alright, and when I play this entire thing, I want to unwrap that and use that as an index for the assets in the sounds, right? The assets in the sounds. And then I can unwrap that, and that's gonna be the actual sound here. And still reloading the sounds is gonna be kind of weird, because there could be currently playing sounds. Yes. Do different items inherit from that item struct, or are they just instances of that struct? They're instances of that struct, yes. They are. Alright. They're just instances. Okay, so in the mixer, I think we can make a method. Struct. Where's the method, by the way? I mean mixer. I think it's somewhere in the sound. Right. I think we need a method that cleans everything that is currently playing. Right. Because how do we play things in a mixer right now? So it's a sound, play sample. Right, so we're playing the sample, we're assigning that sample here. So there's an audio cursor. There's an audio cursor, and if it's bigger or equal to the audio length, if it's equal to audio length, we are essentially considering that to be a free slot. So I think the easiest way here would be to just iterate through all of the things, all of the plain samples right now, right? Something like, so sti sample mixer capacity, right? Sample mixer capacity, and for each individual sample, we're gonna actually clean it up. We're gonna assign like an empty thing there. What's up, Honda Sundrift? Welcome to the stream. All right. So assets. So it doesn't have to be like that. It only has to be like this. All right. Assets, sounds, unwrap, unwrap. People are hard coding GCC in makefiles. Oh, yeah. People do be like that sometimes. I mean, usually people do that because they don't know any better, right? Because I've been doing that for quite some time as well, right? Until I realized that it makes the software more portable if you sort of like let the people customize the compiler. But yeah, a lot of people actually don't know that. It's kind of interesting. So, because some people don't even use Linux that actively, right? They usually may be coming from the Windows environment, and they heard that on Linux you're supposed to use GCC, so they just use GCC, and yeah, without considering FreeBSD or anything like that. So yeah, it do be like that sometimes. It do be like that sometimes. Okay, this one is interesting. Do I really wanna... Okay, so players should sound. Do I even use that? I literally don't use that anywhere, so I'm gonna remove that for now. So this thing does not exist. Alright, so what about entity jump sample? I think we don't need that either anymore. Yeah, it's literally not used. So I can remove it as well. Hopefully by the end of this refactoring we'll be able to remove a lot of stuff. Did you touch Orc's engine? I haven't touched any engine, unfortunately. What do you think about its data-driven approach? I don't know anything about data-driven approach, I'm sorry. The only thing I know about it, it exists, but I don't know anything about it, I'm sorry. I'm not a game developer, so I'm not the right person to ask this kind of questions. What I do, I just do things. Yeah, sorry. So my opinion kind of doesn't matter in this industry because I'm not part of this industry. Really sorry. Alright, so I think this thing is also not needed. Damage enemy. So I think, yeah, it depends on what is damage enemy. So it could be an oof sound. Essentially, what we need to do here is assets get sound by ID or panic, and we're gonna do oof sound. Right, we're gonna do an oof sound. So it's gonna be SV oof sound. Unwrap and alright, this one is actually super complicated. Well, I'm not sure why I'm doing it like that, but it's probably for the best for now. Hopefully then later we're gonna refactor that. So I feel always a little bit better when I need to write like temporarily crappy code. But yeah, it is needed sometimes. And luckily it is temporarily. I feel everyone just I don't know this word, I'm sorry, this is too sophisticated word for me. The data-driven everything is the holy grail for game dev. I think this is like a much deeper fundamental problem with the industry. It's like people in any area of this industry, people just pick up one thing and just praise it as the silver bullet. And of course, they don't call it silver bullet because Frederick Brooks said that silver bullet does not exist, so they just don't call it like that. But they still act like this is a silver bullet until they realize that it's not. So it's kind of funny. You know, the famous article Frederick Brooks wrote, right? The famous article, silver bullet does not exist. So what he meant with this article is that silver bullet does not exist. What people understood from that article is that you're not allowed to call it a silver bullet. So, yeah, people want silver bullet and they act like it exists, but they know they're not allowed to call it silver bullet, so they don't. But they still act like it's a silver bullet. So yeah, and essentially these kind of things, it pollutes the entire industry, like everywhere. And again, just because you don't call it a silver bullet, that doesn't mean that you don't think it's a silver bullet. Presumably he's paraphrasing Baudrillard's "There was no Gulf War." I have no idea what that is. I'm sorry. Not educated enough to understand this reference, I'm really sorry about that. I'm just stupid, uneducated Russian. Alright, so we don't have this thing. Let's continue. Okay, so we also have this thing. And we do play it, right, and it's this stuff. Kill enemy something something, and when I play this sound, what I want to do here is just unwrap this thing, and then we're gonna do assets, sounds. So I can remove that, hopefully. Assets get. Okay, so here I'm supposed to return ID. Right. And here I'm supposed to return index, and everything should be okay now. Alright, so seems to be okie dokie karaoke. And quite important thing. When we are reloading by pressing F6, right, where's the F6? Before trying to reload anything, right, what we have to do, we have to take the mixer and clean it, right? Because the mixer might be playing some sounds, and if we try to reload the sounds, they're going to be referring to old ones. And I think it's quite important to maybe put a note here. It is important to clean all of the samples from the mixer before reloading the assets. Because after assets are reloaded, any pointers stored in the mixer could be invalidated. Right, so yeah, something like this. So I think it's important to put this note here, just in case somebody's gonna, look into that and try to understand why the fuck we're doing that here. Well, we're doing that because it can be invalidated. All right, so let me see what's gonna happen. Let me see what's gonna happen, and I'm gonna run this thing. So we can hear sounds. I can reload everything, and sounds are still playing even after reloading everything. So let me double check if we actually reload the sounds. Okay, so we're actually reloading everything. We reload both textures and the sounds, which is quite amazing. I really like that. Okay, so the only thing that is currently not working is reloading animations, right? So because inside of the animations, it also can re-invalidate some pretty important stuff. Permission denied. That was weird. Oh, this is probably because it was in the middle of recompiling this entire stuff. I see. It was in the middle of doing that. Alright. So, and I can try to, in the runtime, right, so we do pew pew pew. Right, this is a pew 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 sound. And then I can go to the assets, hopefully. Go to the assets and the pew sound. Right. Where's the pew sound? Here's the pew sound. I can comment it out and maybe assign an oof sound instead, right? Just to see if the dynamic reloading of the assets actually works. So, and it does. So, yeah. We can reload it one more time. And there you go. So you can basically hot reload the assets like sounds now. And also textures and everything. It's actually pretty cool. I really like how it's coming together. So let's do a committee. That required like a very extensive refactoring, but I hope it was worth it. And I hope in the future I'm gonna make the code a little bit better. I hope it will be able to do that. All right. So let's commit everything. Fix hot reloading the sounds. Okay, so I want to go make some small break. I probably need to refill my water. Also, I want to grab a little bit of chocolate. And yeah, after like a 3 minutes break, we're gonna continue with our development, and hopefully we'll be able to hot reload animations. I think hot reloading animations would enable pretty cool, workflows. Because, yeah, you can basically sort of design an animation while the game is running, which is super convenient. And I also have interesting thoughts about maybe making a separate tool for editing animations for the game. Basically, that tool will help you to specify the size of the frame, the amount of frames, how they lay out it in the sprite sheet, and then it will automatically export that into the animation file. And then you'll be able to hot reload this animation at runtime just to quickly check and see if everything's working. I think, yeah, I really like how it's coming together. It's actually super cool. Right. Alright. So, let's make a small break, boys and girls, and have fun. This is not what I wanted to run. Jesus fucking Christ, I'm so dumb. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I actually went to a wrong folder. I'm sorry, this is what I want to run. Have fun. Alright, I'm back. How's everyone doing? So I got a cube of chocolate. Oh, what's up, Archulus? Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? I'm just eating chocolate. Chocolate. Nothing special. Yeah, it's a chocolate eating stream now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh yeah. We're working right now on I shouldn't be talking actually right now. We're working on the asset reloading system, which is pretty cool. It enables you with changing the assets, I suppose. That's a pretty good way to put it. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah. So essentially, I think one of the demo that I already showed is using AssetWrite to modify some of the things and how to reload them. So essentially, we can have these sprites that look in a particular way, right? And we can go ahead and modify something in them, right? Like this, and save that, and automatically reload it here. So, well, that's what we're working on right now. It already works for the textures, and we recently just made it work for the sound, and I'm working on making it work for animations as well. Okay, so that's actually kind of interesting. Okay, it's state. So then I can discard the changes here, and yeah, they got discarded properly. All right, that's cool. Did I make my own engine? Well, yes, but that wasn't as difficult as many people may think, because I didn't make a sophisticated engine. I make a super simple engine. And making a simple engine is relatively easy, I would say. It is relatively easy. So, what do we need here? I think we need the support for the animations. Assets, HPP, assets CPP. Okay, just a second. I need to check something. Just need to check something super quick. Excuse me. Alright, so now if I uncomment this thing for the animations, it's not gonna work. Right, it's definitely not gonna work. Our sprite's gonna be animated also like glowing shining ice block. We'll see about that. I'm gonna think about that when I'm gonna try to make the game pretty. Right. So right now I'm in the phase of just making the game and, you know, game mechanics and stuff like that. Once I'm okay with the game mechanics and everything, I'll try to polish the game and make it look a little bit better, and then I'll start thinking about these kind of effects. Streamer, can you show us your desk setup? Well, I showed it actually multiple times. So it's just a laptop and that's it, and just keyboard and mouse attached to it. Nothing special. Actually, nothing special. All right, so let's actually work. What is your work and break time technique? When I'm motivated, I work. When I'm tired, I make a break. It's actually a pretty simple technique. Okay. So let me take a look. So I think now I'm gonna do this kind of thing. I just reloaded everything, and as you can see, everything has disappeared. Everything has disappeared. Pomodoro. I tried Pomodoro once, to be fair. Well, actually, not once. 3 times. I tried 3 times, it didn't work for me. I suppose it's one of those things that it works for somebody, but it doesn't work for other people, and it definitely didn't work for me. I don't know. It's kind of difficult for me. I think I kind of know why it didn't work for me, because in Pomodoro you have to force to focus yourself on something, and I cannot do that if I don't like it. I cannot force myself to focus on something even for 20 minutes or for 10 minutes or for 5 minutes if I don't like doing that. That caused so much trouble throughout my entire life. Oh my god. My life would have been completely fucking different if I could just focus for 5 minutes on something that I don't like. I would have been in a different place in life, but unfortunately. Luckily, like I got really lucky. My brain is capable of focusing on things that actually, you know, get me a job and made me capable of sustaining myself. I could have been actually less lucky. Imagine if I could have, like, I'm actually super lucky that my brain, even though it's fucked up, it's still capable on focusing on things that can still help me sustain myself. Like, I'm so fucking happy. Anyway, whatever, I don't know why I keep talking about that. Did you ever participate in game jam? No, I never participated in game jams, because I'm not a game developer. I'm sorry. I participated in competitive programming, so it's kind of like a game jams for not game developers. I guess that's the best way to put it, right? Anyway, yeah, we need to finish the Animat assets and stuff. For me, I'll spend that time, instead of trying to focus, I'll just complain, whine in my head. Tsoding. Yes, same. What industry do you work on? Entertainment, I suppose. Yeah. All right. Okay. So if I try to reload it now, it disappears. And if we take a look at the frame Animat, struct, no, I don't remember how to do that. Frame Animat. Okay. So what's the problem here? We can try to solve that similarly, I think. We can try to solve that similarly by actually thinking in terms of indices instead of pointers. Yes, I think it's actually a pretty cool idea. So I'm gonna go to the indices, right? It's gonna be index and struct. I'm gonna go frame Animat index. It's gonna be public. I know that I'm a bad person for using inheritance in this Christian procedural stream, right? But this is actually super convenient, to be fair, because I need like equivalent of new type, but in C, Right. So this is essentially what you do. If you program in Haskell, you probably know what I'm talking about. So essentially, I want to have a wrapper around integer. But at the same time, I don't want to end up in implementing a lot of boilerplate, like additional boilerplate for each individual index, like comparison, and maybe some arithmetic operations in the future. I don't know what I'm going to use there. So that's why I'm using inheritance. And I forgot how it's called. When you have a type, and you inherit from another type that uses the original type as a parameter. You see, I'm using the parameter for my parent here. Does anybody remember how this technique is called? I keep forgetting. It has a name. It has a very fancy name. And if you say that in a circle of computer scientists, everyone is going to automatically respect you for knowing that name. What's the name? Because I keep forgetting it. That's why nobody respects me, because I keep forgetting. Yeah, CRTP, yes. Thank you so much, MLG1. You are a respectable person in CS community, apparently, because you remember all of these names, and every time people bring them up, you can just throw these names, and everyone, wow, he knows his shit. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, so it's called CRTP. And it's actually super convenient in this particular situation. It's super convenient because, yeah, I can just define a new index and it acts like an integer, but at the same time it is not an integer. So yeah, it's a curiously recurring template patterns. That's what they are. And I cannot remember that name, unfortunately. Cannot remember that name. So yeah. All right. So, okay, I'm going to introduce another index and I'm going to go to the assets. And let's just do that. Let's just do that. So here's the index. Here's the index. And let's go through the compilation errors and just see what's there. Let's just do that. All right. So here's the Animat. Do I even... I think I do use that. So in entities, entity HPP. So we have frame animats. Let's actually use frame animat indices. And I have a feeling that it's going to be a lot of refactoring, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Let's just go ahead and do that. But what's harder, C# or Java? I don't know. How do you measure hardness? So give us the criteria of how to measure hardness of a programming language. And after we have the criteria, we can, compare the hardness of these two things. So I think that's the best way to answer what is harder, C# or Java, right? Just come up with the criteria of hardness and just compare it. But the problem is that this criteria has to be actually measurable, right? So after we apply the criteria, we should end up with a number. So for example, C# is 6-point hardness, and Java is, for example, 69 points of hardness, right? But I don't know. So you come up with that criteria. I don't know any criteria. All right. So when we're rendering this thing, what we're doing here? What the fuck is going on? So the idle is an index, I see. So essentially what we have to do here is we have to unwrap this entire thing, and then assets, then animats, right, and then we'll have to unwrap it yet again. I'm not sure if it makes sense for me to keep tracking paths and stuff. Yeah, like I really apologize for this super ugly code. I plan to change that in the future. In the future, it's gonna be actually way better, hopefully. We'll see how it goes. So I'm writing this kind of stuff just for now to make it working, and once it's working, I will be able to incrementally improve it, hopefully. So assets, it's actually animats. Alright, so and I forgot to unwrap this thing. Unwrap. Okay. Assets. Animat. By the way, chat, today I'm finally going to cook something for lunch myself instead of eating takeaway food. What do you plan to cook? And congrats. It's actually super cool. Alright. So let me see. Assets, Animats. Chickpea burger with baked potatoes and veggies. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. Chickpea burger. What is chickpea? I don't even know. You mean like chicken and peas, right? Or is it? Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm sorry, like I didn't really speak English that well. That sounds interesting. Nice. You can make burgers out of it? So basically you can make a flour and then dough. Is that what it is? Huh. Interesting. So it's basically a replacement for wheat. Yeah, I see. Cool. Never tried that. Well, bon appetit. It's a chickens that hatched from peas, I see. Falafel is made out of chickpeas. I don't know what is a falafel, oh my god. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm coming from like a different part of the world where we have like completely different crops and things. And all of these things are completely new for me. I'm so sorry for not knowing all of that. Yeah. But all of that sounds actually very interesting. So yeah. All right. So assets. I usually cook rice. Yeah. What I usually cook is very simple food. Surprisingly, it's usually super simple. I'm not trying to do anything sophisticated. By the way, are you gonna make buns yourself, like out of the chickpea flour and stuff like that? It's actually super cool. Like I always wanted to make like a burger and also make my own buns, but it always looked super sophisticated for me. Falafel is just a kind of shawarma, by the way. It's quite popular here in Ukraine. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah. Alright, so here's the assets, and then we're gonna have Animats. Unwrap. And there we go. Assets. Animats. So here's the game entity working Animat. I'm not sure if we need these things. I think we'll have to remove them as well at some point. Yes, this is another case of the things that are not needed anymore. This is yet another case of that. Yet another case of that. Okay, so then we have a toolbar. Okay, I see. So we can remove that, I think. Okay. So it's needed for projectiles, but in case of projectiles, we can actually get them from the assets themselves when you spawn them. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. Just a second, I want another piece of chocolate. Super quick. I'm so sorry. just can't help myself. Getting myself coffee. Okay, enjoy your coffee. Addicted, probably. I heard you can get addicted to chocolate. I suppose I am addicted to chocolate now. Well, is it too loud? Let me know if it's too loud and gross. I'm gonna mute myself while I'm eating. I'm really sorry. So assets, get Animat, by idea or panic. This is not what I wanted. Why do I have nim in my clipboard? It's really weird. Okay. Alright, so in here, get the ID, I can unwrap it. Then in assets, I should be able to Animats, like that. Wait a second. I don't need to do that. I have to just do it like that. Yeah. So I don't need to unwrap shit. No. So let's find projectiles. Yeah, this one has to be indexed. This chocolate tastes like shit, by the way. Because it's literally 97% sound chocolate. It's fucking horrible, but I like the feeling after it. Right. It makes me feel a little bit better. Alright. Get better chocolate. Well, I mean, isn't any concentrated chocolate is gonna be like that? They're usually very bitter. Is it really chocolate though? It's fucking horrible. Well, what can I say? I'm programming in C++. I'm a masochist, right? I don't know. At least that's what I heard. I don't consider myself a masochist for programming in C++, but some people said in the chat that I'm a masochist for that. What did you say about C++? I didn't say anything. I just quoted some person in the chat. Somebody yesterday said, why am I torturing myself with C++? I personally have nothing against C++, to be fair. Why that high cocoa percent? Because it's... How to say that? It makes a stronger dopamine kick. That's why. The chocolate with the less content of cocoa actually doesn't give me that much of a dopamine kick as the 97.7. I'm trying to find like at least like 99 or 100%, but I couldn't find it, only 97. Alright, so we have Animat, and what we're trying to do here, we're trying to reset it. So I'm gonna unwrap this thing. Assets, Animats, unwrap. Alright. Active Animat. struct projectile active animat. Okay, I see. So here essentially I have to do does it exist in the assets? Active animat. Alright, so yeah, let's call it like that then. Okay, so now we're gonna do it like that. Let's recompile that. We're almost there, hopefully. So, and when we're okay, this one is interesting. So now we're rendering things. Are you guys arguing about how to correctly spell a thing in a Cyrillic? I mean, Russian and Bulgarian are literally different languages, are they not? Or Ukrainian, I don't know. Is the spelling in Ukrainian the same as in Russian? I don't know. Maybe. So, assets and not s. I'm gonna take this thing and wrap. Guys are naturally competitive. It's the only reason we're not living in caves and mud huts. Cool. Not a guy then. Thank you so much. Alright. Because I'm the least competitive person, actually. Assets. You gotta be man, you gotta be strong. Ooga booga. Ooh. Actually, in Ukrainian, it's also like that. You just read it. Oh, okay. Because yeah, the Russian yeah is basically Ukrainian as far as I know. I'm sure. I don't really know much Ukrainian. Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. I know a thing or two about Ukrainian apparently. Cool. Well, my babushka is Ukrainian, so yeah, I guess. Assets and nuts. Babushka, yes. Exactly. She moved to Russia during Soviet times. I think something related to work relocation that was quite common in Soviet Union. So yeah, she was relocated to Russia and she just stayed there. So yeah. But she was born in Ukraine. Moved. It's complicated. In Soviet Union it was complicated. Usually after you finished like a higher education, you were literally moved to different places where you and your qualifications was needed, right? And the government paid like everything. It paid the trip, it paid the apartment and everything. Just they say, here we have a job for you like there somewhere, and we're gonna give you all of the resources, just go there and work there. So that's how it was in Soviet Union, I think, because at least that's what I was told. It's not like that in Russia anymore, of course, but yeah. People were constantly relocated within the country wherever they were needed. But the minimum, yeah, of course, I mean, it's minimum resources, yes. Nobody's gonna give you like a luxury trip or apartment or anything like that. It's a communism. Anyway, assets, animats, there we go. So, it's kind of weird. Oh, because I have to do unwrap. There we go. And also, I think, like, I heard like a sort of a thing on level of conspiracy that also Soviet government were trying to mix up different nations and ethnicities of different republics as much as possible, so it's then more difficult for people to separate, right? But it dissolved anyway. So that was the idea, just to mix up people as much as possible to create like a universal sort of Soviet nation, I suppose. But it's just on a level of conspiracies and rumors or something like that. All right. So what do we have here? Is it highly templated C++ code hard to debug? Don't know. It depends on the criteria of hardness. Like, give me the criteria of hardness, and I'll tell you whether it's hard or not. I don't know how to answer these questions. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Like, I literally don't understand what you expect me when you ask, is it hard to do X, or is X harder than Y? I don't know. Like, it's the criteria. It's all about criteria, man. Seriously. How do we measure that? So, obviously, the real question, when people ask whether something is hard or is it harder than something than that, what they really want to ask, am I gonna spend much more effort learning that than that? And obviously nobody is like subconsciously don't want to ask that and word their questions like that, because the answer is obvious. Well, it depends on you. I don't know. So, yeah. So, is it gonna be hard for you? I don't know. We can try to reward that question, right? By asking, so, is it usually hard with people with that background to learn that? Well, and then we can discuss that, but you never ask that question, I'm sorry. So, yeah. Length, width, breadth. It's like if bread was a number, right? You can say something like fifth, sixth, and if bread was a number, you could say breadth. I'm so sorry, it's so dumb, but it's the dumbest shit I've ever said. When you think is good for use OOP in C++? When you think it is good for use OOPs in C++? Depends on the definition of OOP. So what do we understand by OOP? So, yeah, I don't know, this just depends. Breadth. Which time is it for you? It's my breadth time. Alright. So, okay, get animat by ID. So frame animat index. Okay, so this thing. We have that, and we have that, and I think we don't need that anymore. Need that anymore. Hello. welcome back. I'm really sorry. Something happened with my VPN, I think. Yeah, KGB is after me. KGB is definitely after me. So if you, if the stream has restored, I really recommend you to refresh the page, because if you don't do that, you're gonna have a huge delay. So, yeah. All right. Hello, welcome back, everyone. Okay. So we're still compiling things. OOP is great to make the API for system/subsystem. What is a system and what is a subsystem? Right. Okay, so we don't have that anymore. People just throw in just random words that they heard on the internet without trying to understand what it means. It's just funny. All right. So the assets, Animats, unwrap. And just unwrap that. Game entity. Wait a second. This is kind of interesting. Game entity. And I removed it. Right? Did I remove it? Okay. So entity idle animat. So that means I'll have to take it from somewhere there. What's going on in the chat? Is everything okay? You guys okay? Oh, okay. So you already. All right. I timed out. Okay. I would recommend you, if it supports, to actually hard code the if. So if you see a message from Mr. Botka, ignore it. Zhiyak actually did the same thing with his bot. So, and if you want to have a bot in this channel, your own custom bot here, please also add that check. All right. So I'm okay with your custom bots here only under this particular condition, right? You killed it for now. Okay, well, feel free to bring it back. Just you know, just don't forget to you know, add that check. Don't forget to add that check. So here's the Animats, and what do we have here? So game. Oh yeah. So I need to assets conf. And let's go. Entity enemy idle animat. Assets get animat by ID or panic, I suppose. Get animat by ID or panic. So this is unwrap, and do we need to unwrap anything here? Yeah, we'll have to unwrap here. So this is the frames. I'm not quite understanding what the fuck is going on, to be fair, and why did I have to do that? Wait a second. My brain just stopped working. So when we have an item and thing. Yeah. Is it tool? I think it's tool. I think it's tool. And item, no, it's not item tool. It's a button or something. And the icon is just a sprite, I see. Alright. So that means, oh, okay, I think my brain finally restarted, so I should be able to do this thing. So I also have to unwrap this stuff because it's... Oh shit, okay, so index. To be fair, like, it's kind of pointless to discuss who's a boy or who's a girl. If the person told you their preferred pronouns, it would be polite to just use them, I suppose. Did we effed? I suppose we effed a little bit, I'm sorry. So we should be uneffed now. I'm really sorry for all of the problems. Like, I don't know. I think this time it is not VPN. I think it's a yeah, it's something with the Twitch. I'm really sorry. Like, I don't know. I try everything. I try to usually investigate what's the problems, but I cannot understand what is going on. I'm so sorry. Okay, so here I'm supposed to return this thing. Here. Okay. It compiled, by the way. Speaking of, it compiled. Should I call a new KGB agent and ask him what he's doing? Yeah, probably. What are you going to dress up as for Halloween? We do not celebrate Halloween here, usually, so it would be kind of weird for me to dress up as anything. So, yeah. Richard Stallman. I don't have beard to be a Richard Stallman. Sorry. Nothing grows on my face. Except my glasses. Oh yeah, I'm a Tom Scott today. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Thank you so much. I wish I could come up with that joke myself, but yeah. All right, this shit doesn't work. Nice, cool. I'm super happy. Projectile. I wanted to add a mechanism for ignoring certain users. Anyways, now I have a reason to implement it. Oh, okay, sure. Yeah. I'm glad that I give you the motivation to do that. I'm really glad. Your streams are very cool. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm really actually happy to hear that. Thank you so much. Okay, this thing doesn't work. Let's actually try to investigate what exactly is going on there. So what's up with that? Projectile active. And why does it even compile? That's a good question. Projectile active animat, right? Something game. Ah, because this thing has to be an index. Why did it work? I'm actually kind of curious. What the fuck is going on? And this thing should not exist, by the way. Frame animat projectile active. Fucking removal of that. Yes, let's just remove all of this thing. It's not needed. Alright. So this entire thing does not compile, and render player HUD. What are we doing here? What is this code? What is this code? This is so weird. State weapon gun stats. Ah, that's what it. Okay. I see what we're doing here. I see. So essentially, we'll have to take the animat and stuff. Yeah. So I think I'm starting to understand what the hell is going on here. It took me way too long to understand what the fuck is going on. And it's not primarily because the code is bad. It's just my brain is pepega right now. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about that. So projectile active, so it's actually projectile idle animat here, right? It's projectile idle, and we can do assets get animat ID by ID, I suppose. Get animat by ID or panic, right? And then we can do it like this: get animat ID by panic. And that gives us the ID, and I suppose I can just save that to the animat. So it's gonna be assets, animats, unwrap, and we can save that to animat, like temporarily at least. So in here, I'm gonna replace that with just animat, and hopefully that will provide the thing. I'm really glad that I added that assert there. Adding as many asserts as possible is in fact a very useful thing to do all the time. Right, because yeah, I added that assert very long time ago. And I actually didn't think it's going to be that useful, but it turned out to be very useful when I started to refactoring things, and that accidentally invalidated a lot of assumptions about my code. I'm trying to ask random question to practice in English. Okay, so you managed to do that successfully. I suppose. I don't know. I don't know. To feel free to ask any question, I suppose, to practice your English. Alright, seems to be working. And if I try to reload things, Nothing is breaking, I would say. Right. And here is the final moment. Okay, can we change the look and feel of the enemy at runtime? Is it even possible? Let's actually find out. It's going to be assets.conf, and so okay, here is the enemy animat, and what we essentially can do, we can take this thing and make it like this. Right, and we're gonna comment out everything here, and I'm gonna reload, and as you can see, the enemy changed its appearance. Now the enemy looks like me. But what's interesting is that it's only idle animation that looks like me. When it's moving, it's gonna look like the enemy. And all of that is changeable. Well, that was actually kind of funny, but all of that is changeable at runtime. So at runtime, you can assign these kind of things. Right, you can assign this kind of things and reload the game, and it reloads all of the assets, like properly allocating, deallocating things, and that means that I can tweak animations and textures without restarting the game finally. So, and also maybe tweak sounds and stuff like that. This is actually super cool. And I hope it doesn't leak too much memory, but I mean, it's 2020, just let it leak and stuff. But yeah, I think it's coming together quite well. I really like how it works and stuff. So it's actually super cool. Alright, so let's actually commit whatever we have, and I think we are going to be ready to do a pushy and then maybe committee. Committee. Okay, that's a lot of stupid changes, but yeah, I'm really happy with what I came up with here. 252. What was the previous commit? Wait a second. Fix hot reloading the animats. 252. Fix hot reloading the animats. Alright, so hopefully everything is working correctly. Okay, let's create the pull request, I suppose. I don't think anything else is needed here. Let me double check assets just in case. Let me just double check. Okay, so there's a little bit of garbage that I'd like to remove and stuff. And also, we already resolved these two to-dos on today's stream, right? So we already did that. So let's quickly do it like that, and everything seems to be okie dokie karaoke. Oh my god. Clean up comments. Yeah, I think it's a good name. Clean up comments. Let's push that right into the rip. Let's push that right into the rip. So let's create a pull request. Let's create a pull request. Change dirt texture to your face, it'd be epic. I'm not sure if it's gonna be that easy, but we can try. Because the dirt texture is actually taken from a sprite sheet, not from a single image. So I'm not sure how easy would that be. But yeah, let's actually make a pull request first, and then I can think about that. Assets reloading by F6 key, so it's gonna close 252, and we're gonna just create a pull request. I'm going to add skins and loot boxes. Well, I wonder how it's gonna work out for an open source game. I don't know. Maybe. I'll think about it. So the way I'm gonna organize all of that is I'm gonna upload it to Steam, right? And the code is gonna be open, by the way. So the release is gonna be on Steam with opened code. So you will be able to install it for free on Steam. And then if you want to modify something, you can download the code and do things like that. If the game is gonna become popular for whatever fucking reason, which is quite unlikely, maybe I'll think about different skins, but I'm not sure about loot boxes because I'm not approve of gambling and stuff like that. So, but different skins could be actually pretty cool. Because I really want to use Tsoding instead of Tsoding W. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure about it, so the future of this game is unclear. But for now, what you can do if you want to use Tsoding instead of Tsoding W, you can go to the assets and just replace it there. So the sprites are there, I suppose. I don't remember where it is. Yeah, Tsoding W. You can just replace this file and yeah, compile your own version. And luckily, compiling this game is easier than compiling a sprite, so there should be no problems. Well, I hope it's easier than compiling a sprite, at least. Like, I don't have that many third-party dependencies. The only third-party dependencies is SDL2. And yeah, everything is compiled with a single make file. So I hope that is easier than a sprite. But of course, it depends on the criteria. What is harder to build? Something or a sprite? I don't know. Depends on the criteria. Anyways, so yeah, feel free to do whatever you want with the game, even replace the skin if you want to. Talking about the sprite. So you managed to compile it. Nice. Okay, let's actually verify that you actually compiled it. Okay, that is cool. Congratulations on compiling it. Epic. So now you can do pixel art. Alrighty. So do I want to do anything else here? I'm not quite sure. So let's go. I think we're ready to merge it, I suppose. I guess we're ready to merge that. Delete the branch. And yep. You know what I want to do? I want to be able to access the assets similarly how I access the config variables, right? So look, we have vars config, right? So let me actually find this file, vars conf, right? And in here we define different variables, and you can literally use these variables inside of the code because we use code generation, right? So we have a separate tool that reads this entire configuration and generates like these variables for you, and that's how you're able to do all of that. All right, and it's actually super convenient. You know what I want to be able to do with the assets, right? Assets conf, right? With the assets conf. I want to be able to use these IDs directly in the source code, right? So instead of doing some, I'm not sure where can I, wait a second. How do I access those things then? If I cannot find them, this is really weird. But yeah, instead of doing this kind of thing where you do assets get animat by ID or panic and you know, provide like a search for these assets at runtime, we can also, like similarly to the variable configuration, generate these names, these macros that will directly pull out those assets for you. So yeah, but it's gonna be like a separate issue, and yeah, but right now we're gonna have this kind of thing. Even compiling something in Windows is easier than a separate. Yeah, exactly, by the way. And we have a pull request that adds Windows compilation to the something. Yeah, so we're gonna actually review that tomorrow, because tomorrow is Monday, and on Monday we go through all of the notifications I have and just address them. Unfortunately, this week we didn't have enough notifications for like a proper stream, maybe because Hacktoberfest is over. So I don't know why people don't really submit that many pull requests anymore. I guess Hacktoberfest had something to do with that. So yeah, so we're gonna address these things, and maybe for the rest of the tomorrow stream we're gonna do code forces in Haskell, because why not? This is what we did on the last Monday, by the way. So, and sounds like a pretty cool idea. By the way, hello Distro Campus, welcome to the stream. Time to end the stream. Yes. Sure. Let me just fetch the latest changes. I'm gonna finish the stream. Just super quick. All right. So what do we have? Merge origin master, and there we go. How are we doing, Distro Campus, by the way? Is everything okay? Hello, hello. I'm really glad to see you today. Nice. We're doing something epic, actually. We are hot reloading the assets. Right, that's what we're doing. So I already did that demo, but I'm gonna do it one more time just for you. So essentially, we can do now a very pretty, like a very cool thing. Very cool thing. So let me actually put some eyes. Everything is fine. How is it? So how is the stream going? Stream is going well. I have a little bit of depression, probably due to the fall, but so far it's okay. So I can handle it. So now, fuck, I didn't want to do that. So now you can open the eyes, right? You can open the eyes and you can modify something here. You can modify something here, save that, and reload in the game. And it's not gonna work because I fucked up. Okay. So it's supposed to actually update that live, but I think I'm running like a wrong version. I think I'm running old version. I'm really sorry about that. So the I think I didn't reload or something. I don't know what exactly happened. It's kind of weird. Let's try it one more time. Let's try it one more time. So, oh yeah, as you can see, it actually added this weird thing, and now, like, it has this thing that I added, and then if I press Ctrl S, save everything, and you know, reload it, it automatically reloads everything. So yeah, so essentially this is very important if I wanna design tiles, right? And I want to instantly see how they're gonna look like in context. So I can modify things here, right? Just modify these things here, save it, reload it, and it's not gonna reset the state of the game, right? It's not gonna reset the state of the game and stuff like that. So, and it works for textures, it works for sounds, it works for animations, for everything that we consider an asset, right? So yeah, this system is going to be actually super useful, and this is what I missed when I was you know, drawing different tiles for this kind of stuff. Did you make the background by the way? No, I stole it actually. You can find all of the credits for all of the assets that I stole here. There is a credits.org file, and yeah. So this is basically everything I stole. But all of these assets, by the way, they're placeholders, right? I just put something to have something to test the game. So I do have plans to actually replace all of that with my own assets that I will draw myself and sounds that I record myself, right? So yeah, that's pretty much the plan. Professional software demo, it's all right, everything works as it should. Yes. Sounds pop. Well, I mean, we did record the pop sound. The pop sound that plays when you collect the items is actually my pop. Yeah. So it actually sounds kind of cool. I like how it sounds. But yeah, it might. So I'm a professional sound designer. How about that? Professional sound designer. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. All right. So let me see. So reload assets at runtime. There we go. So release data pack building based on assets.conf. This one is actually very interesting. Can you try the dirt to face change? Okay, let me actually see how easy it is to do, but I have a feeling that it's not as easy as we may think. Yeah, at runtime, I don't think it's gonna work at runtime that easily. Because we don't have a dirt thingy. Fantasy tiles, yeah. Essentially, the dirt is taken. The dirt is taken from a sprite sheet, right? We can take a look at the sprite sheet. Fantasy tiles, there we go. And this is from where we take dirt, and we actually had code how we take out this entire thing. Okay, so I found a flaw in the asset system. Thank you for asking that. So I'll think how we can do that. So right now it's not that easy to do, unfortunately. Yeah, it's not that easy to do. Beatbox background music for game. I mean, I can make my own music basically. So I was planning to, you know, have some sort of like a chip tune, or maybe, I don't know. To be fair, remember my making music in Haskell video? Remember that? I want to make music entirely like programmatically from scratch by generating waves. Like, yeah, I want to like have like a project that basically generates music for this thing. So because the problem is that I don't want to use any of the musical software because I don't know how to use them, and I don't want to spend time on learning how to use them. I better just write my own software. It's like being programmer is so hard. Like, you don't want to use anyone else's software. You just want to write your own software because that way you don't have to learn anything. It just makes it easier. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, it's kind of difficult to explain to non-programmers, especially because they don't, like, you just learn it, like it's a long-time investment. No, it's just easier to learn how to make such thing. I think I'm weird, probably. I don't know. All right. So I'm a little bit tired already. I'm really sorry, chat. So we already streamed for 3 hours. So I guess I'm gonna call it today. Today was a relatively good progress, I suppose. We worked on the asset system, right? But it's time for me to go. Thanks everyone who's watching right now. I really appreciate it. Have a good one, and I see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow, according to the schedule, we're gonna have a Monday stream, a code review stream. On the code review stream, we usually go through the notifications that I receive to my repos, but since this week I didn't receive much notifications, I'm not really sure what exactly we're gonna do. Well, we're obviously gonna address all of these things. Right, we're also going to address all of these things, but I think after we addressed all of them, I'm going to just do competitive programming problems as I did the last Monday, because it was actually kind of fun, and doing that in Haskell, it makes it super fun because it brings back so many nostalgia when I was a student and was solving these problems in Haskell. So yeah, I guess that's what we're going to do tomorrow. Also check out our schedule. Check out our schedule for other things that we're doing, and also check out our Discord server for the offline discussion with the community. That's it for today. Thanks everyone, and see you all tomorrow. Love you all. Mwah.